Hello viewers, welcome to ATV Nadi Group. I am Anil Achar and from today we are going to see secrets of Nadi. Before that we will pray God and the Guru or preceptor who has given this opportunity, and this we have to thank Facebook for giving us an opportunity to learn through webinars or something like this kind of chat conference or in a Facebook live, so where we can see the Nadi astrology. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. That is just like a praying God and preceptor for giving this divine knowledge. So let us see the origin of Nadi. So before Nadi, I say it is Nadi astrology. So we will see how it originated. The Lord, we say the Lord, created the six various branches for in the betterment of the living beings, not only humans, for all the living beings, for flora and fauna. So this is the creation, and we already know that God created things from his dust. So there is a theory. So let us see from that. From the origin, we always say science and all, right? But our sages has stressed that there are six different branches which is given. I'm not only a Veda, I'm telling, yes, Veda is Aparusha, means there's nothing beginning because the Lord himself is Veda. A lot of people say, is there a connection between this astrology, Nadi? Yes, Nadi is one branch of astrology and Vedas. Yes, the Vedas are it's a top of the scriptures. It's a very holy scriptures. So let us see the six branches where the Jyotisha or astrology falls. And let me tell you, before telling something about astrology, we have to understand this is a proven science, but you have to understand science is just a part of the holy scriptures of Vedas. So from Vedas, the science has come, but from science, Vedas has not originated. So you have to understand which is a stem and which is a branch. So Vedas are the stem. So science is one of the branch of Veda, which is called Atharva Veda. So all the Atharva Veda, whatever it is there, it's encoded, that has been decoded into science and technology. So let us see now all the six branches where astrology falls. So that if anybody asks you origin of astrology, it may be Nadi astrology, you can be able to tell. So first one is Shiksha, the education system, where education of the chantings of mantra, the pronunciation comes over it. That is the Shiksha in Sanskrit. It's in English. It is education. The second one I can call it as the Chandas, which is the lyrical utterance of words, or we can say pronunciation comes over here also. So that is the Chandas. Anyway, it is a grammar comes into the third picture. Grammar or Vyakarna is the third branch, which is very important, because without grammar there is no communication at all. The fourth one is the Nirukta, or Nirukta means very difficult words. In English we call as jargons, right? Very difficult words which are hard to understand. If I use any English word which is complicated, you will not understand it. That word is called as jargons. So that is the Nirukta, which is the fourth one. The fifth one is the Kalpa. Kalpa deals with the ritualistic aspect of Vedas. As I told you, Vedas is the holy scriptures. It's not only bound to religion. It's not. It is universal, we say. So I'm not dealing anything related to religion here. So these six things are the branches, and the sixth one is called Jyotisha or astrology. It is in Sanskrit. So like Greek is there, Hebrew is there. It's converted to English. So the actual word in Sanskrit is Jyotisha, and in English it comes to astrology. In fact, astronomy is also derived from astrology, which says about the heavenly objects. It need not be a satellite, natural satellite, or a planet, or star, or a clusters of stars. It clearly says it's about heavenly bodies. So here we deal with all the six branches here. I just told we are dealing the sixth important branch of Jyotisha or astrology. So anybody ask you where from the astrology or the Jyotisha originated, this is from the creation, from the time immemorial. Out of the six branches, astrology is the sixth important part. So now we come to the astrology. So here we deal with Vedic astrology is the one part in the subdivided part of astrology. One is the Vedic astrology, the other one is the Western, and we have other division here called the Chinese astrology. So here the Nadi astrology comes under the Vedic astrology. And before going to Nadi, we have to understand there are again three branches in Vedic astrology. Yes, you heard it right. The first branch is Samhita. The Samhita, which deals over a sutta or a shloka. So this is very important. There are again three branches in Vedic astrology. Samhita is the one. The second one is Siddhanta, or I can say the mathematical portion. Whatever calculation is there, the calculations comes all under Siddhanta. There are two Siddhantas which you may be aware of. One is the solar, that is the Surya Siddhanta. The other one is the Chandra, so that is the Drik Siddhanta. So the solar one and the lunar one are different in Siddhanta, so it's nothing but calculations. The third division is the Hora. So in all these three, we say Nadi, where it comes. See, I say the Samhita is a part of the sage. The sage is given in terms of mantra or the suktas. Like it's like a holy chantings is a mantra by definition. Because I use some Hindi or Sanskrit words in between, it means it's not like that. It means I have to translate it. Because you may wonder, I have to translate it because some of the words are originated in Sanskrit. That is why I'm translating it. So Samhita is also called Ova in Sri Lanka, and in the southern part of Indian sub, they say they are called as Nadi. But Nadi is similar to Samhita, but not exactly Samhita. So Nadi is the conversation between all the Sapta Rishis. Yes, all the Sapta Rishis involved in Nadi. Only people only know two sages with respect to Nadi, but this is not the fact. All sages knew Nadi. They had contributed their own work. So people are aware of Bhrigunandi Nadi, Bhrigu Nadi. People are aware of Chandra Kala Nadi, Meena Nadi, Agastya Nadi, and yes, and they don't give credit to Parashara. In fact, Parashara Muni, Agastya Muni, and Bhrigu Muni all were into Nadi. Of course, Agastya, Kashyapa, and Parashara were then. Then Bhrigu also joined the Nadi. The time, exact time of their origin is it's obviously in the BC, but we should not go in depth when the sages actually started this Nadi for welfare of this. So I can tell this one thing: it is Achandrarka until from the beginning of the sun and moon. This has the effect on our Earth. It's not only Earth. I told flora and fauna. So here we see now we got the origin of Nadi. So Nadi is just like a given pointers, I can say. It's just a given pointers for the sages, but that is not in English language or Greek or something. It is in, we say, some say it is in Dravidian language, some say it is in Sanskrit. Yes, it is in a encoded language. We have to just, just like encrypted file, we say, password protected. Yes, we actually decode it. And the books you read today, the Nadis by, Dhruva Nadi by Satya Charvya, it may be Meena Nadi and all, these are all translated one. So now we got to know the origin of Nadi here. So now we deal with, there are more than 10 types of Nadi. Yes, don't they get surprised. To name a few, I would say we are dealing with Meena Nadi, of course, but I should not go directly to that, because you may see we are going from the grassroots level, so we have to understand different types of nadis as well here. So we have Agastya Nadi, we have Bhrigu Nadi, we have Meena Nadi, we have Chandrakala Nadi, we have Bhrigu Nandi Nadi, we have Bhrigu Prashna Nadi, we have Buddha Nadi, we have Dhruva Nadi. I gave 8 examples. So here, out of these nadis, we are about to discuss the Meena 1 and the Meena 2. In simple, the Meena 1 is one branch and the Meena 2. You may wonder, why is this astrology so depth? Yes, it is a huge ocean. So here, Meena Nadi. So before I begin the Meena Nadi, let us talk in terms of dimensions, because science is one thing which is easily accessible. Because people say, what is this astrology? It's just about the future. No, there is the people actually put a limitation to astrology. No, that's not a fact. No, what astrology is past, the present, and the future. Grammatical English, they say the past tense, present, and the future, or past. The present continuous. They say some people don't believe in future tense, right? The grammar people believe it. What? Past tense, present, and the present continuous, right? Some people also call it future tense. But why not in astrology? Why are people only worried about future? That is what. See, if you always worry about future, you will stop participating in today. So that's the reason we have to see all the aspects: the past, present, and the future. Astrology is about three things here. Three things which really matter: past, present, and the future. So here we see, in terms of dimension, it's like here we come to a bit of astronomy, but this is a very basic things, like the orbit. Johannes Kepler, somewhere in 1600, he has given Kepler's law. Out of that, the Kepler says, Johannes Kepler, the planets, heavenly bodies in general, orbit the star in an elliptical orbit. Here comes the geometry. It's not circular orbit. So people say, what is this? Heliocentric, geocentric? That is always there. Heliocentric system is something. Helio is sun. The system was proposed by Nicolaus Copernicus somewhere in 1500s, where sun is placed at the center and all the planets move sun in a orbit. And Johannes Kepler said, yes, it's not circular, it is the elliptical orbit. So here comes the heliocentric system. So you're done. Geocentric system is where the earth is considered as center, and all the heavenly bodies, including the natural satellite moon, the planets like Mars, Saturn, and the sun as a star itself, orbit. But in reality, we have to understand one thing: why people and in the Bible or any other scripture, geocentric system was based. There was a hidden encoded thing which nobody bothered to even check. What we have to understand is in geometry is the point of view or viewing angle. If people are on Earth, on surface of Earth, obviously moon will have an influence. And if there would be, for the sake of argument, let us say there is a life on moon, and obviously Earth is taken as a consideration for a person who is born on moon. It's as simple as that. So geocentric is mentioned in the Bible or the scriptures because humans, all the flora and fauna, the living beings, the plants exist here on Earth and not on other planet. Yes, NASA is in a discovery, they are discovering it. So that's a different thing. But here we are on the surface of Earth, and hence sun also is taken as a consideration. So this will prove that geocentric is the consideration. It doesn't mean heliocentric is wrong. Heliocentric system explains the actual reality of the universe. But for astrological consideration, you have to understand 7 billion people, 7.3 now, they are on the surface of Earth. That is the reason we have to consider geocentric system in astrology. That's the reason we have to consider geocentric system in astrology. Now we move ahead of it. So now I covered the basic things of astronomy. So let me get to this. So I talked about dimensions, right? The first dimension is the length, the breadth, and depth. We actually deal it, but astrology in that it's a very key things which anyone you may read in the initial pages of the book is the signs or the rashi, which are the signs. Let me stick to more of English here because this is an English version video. So the signs as a part of zodiac belt, which is a now the planets are elliptical, but the zodiac belt is not exactly with the sync to the the equator of Earth something, because the Earth is even 23.5 degrees bulged, and hence the zodiac belt is also, we have to see the 23.5-degree angle. So you are meant to say the zodiac belt also has an angle, and that is where we come to the concept of ayanamsha, the correction, the tropical and sidereal. There is a lot of things, the calculations, that is because of this. The earth is actually, consider my face as an earth. So this is earth, this is a sphere, of course. This is a sphere, this earth is like this, 23-degree, like this. So that is the reason we have the calculation of 23.5 degrees. The earth is actually tilted in the axis. The true north pole and the actual pole, if it is 23.5 degrees, is actually different. So that's the reason we see this kind of calculations and all, tropical, sidereal. I will not go in depth because this you find in the book. So now we will get to the main thing, the zodiac belt. So you have heard of the main important core of the horoscope, or HBC, horoscopic birth chart, is the lagna, or the rising. We call the rising. And what is rising? To put in simple, yes, because a book will give you one paragraph of definition, but no, the rising is as simple as it is. The eastern part of the zodiac belt, which arises on the horizon. If you consider Earth, the eastern part of the eastern part of the zodiac belt, which arises at the horizon of Earth. So in the east, we see horizon of Earth, right? What part of zodiac belt arises is lagna, as simple as that. To make it more simpler, I will repeat it. We have horizon, right? The sun rise and the sunset. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west, right? Whatever part of the zodiac sky, or the cosmos, the sky, whatever part of the zodiac belt we see in the eastern horizon is lagna, as simple as that. So this covers what is rising, because the rising is the core. It's the thing which determines the. It's not only one more thing. There are two things here. The predictive astrology is one thing, and the remedial is different. There is some saying that remedies don't work. No, I consider it from my own experience that predictive astrology is different and the remedial is different. So while if the predictive astrology is concerned, we have to know what is the rising or lagna. So that is the reason I am going in depth, like what is lagna or rising. So we got to know now what is rising. So let us see the fundamental architecture of our solar system, how it is like that. We start with actually Aries. Yes, Aries. That's your Harry, right? Aries is a group of constellations. So we know it's Ashwini. We have the English names as well, like reticuli we called as the Bharani is the 35. The articuli is there. We have the Kritika. So that we have the English names also. So here we see what is Aries. So Aries is the first zodiac sign, and say it's in the shape of a goat head. You can say it is in the shape of a goat head. So it represents places where grass is grown, a lawn is grown. So a place where wealth or precious stones like gems is found, or a greenery place is also Aries. Goat shape, of course. It's like you can say ram instead of goat. It's a ram, RAM, the animal I'm referring to. Wealth places, the places where gemstones are found is Aries. The lakes You may wonder why is it's a fiery sign, right? It's a eastern sign, Aries. It's a fiery sign, but also it represents lakes. Lakes also are surrounded by vegetation. Vegetation is again, it's not the farmlands because farmlands is a Taurus. Farmland is Taurus. We are only dealing with Aries here. So Aries deals with the region where there is wealth, precious stones, grasslands, and it is the constellations make a shape of the head of a goat. So that is the reason Aries. We say it's not like Aries people have that lifestyle of a goat and all. The shape, all the constellations which comes. I told the Ashwini, Bharani, and the Kritika first quarter actually falls under Aries. Aries. So this is how it says Aries is the first zodiac sign, and we move to Taurus. Taurus is bull. The Taurus, the horns we see on the bull is the actual thing. Yes, the stars actually form a shape of a bull with two horns actually. So the places which actually represented by Taurus are the farmlands. Vacant farmlands, not vegetation. It's a farmlands. It's just like earthy sign. No, we call. I don't tell barren earth and all. It's earthy sign. So the first one was a fiery sign and east. So what is Taurus? It's NES. It is southern sign. So I'll tell you. All the fiery signs are east. All the earthy signs are south. Okay, and all the airy signs we deal like Gemini, Aquarius, and the Libra are in the west, which falls in the west, and all the watery signs are north. So this is the actual basics you will find in the books. But still, I had to tell. The north represents the north of the Pisces, Cancer, and the Scorpio. Watery signs are all in the north. The fiery signs are in the east. The earthy signs are in the south, and the airy signs are all in the west. This is how the fundamental architecture is, not only solar system, the fundamental architecture of our universe is like this. So here we see Taurus. I was telling about Taurus. It's very simple. The cow houses are where uh, the place where cow, buffalo are there. Those are the places which represent Taurus. The farmlands, vacant, of course, vacant. Again, the vegetation again rules over Aries. Again, and the bull, of course, the shape. Because you may ask why. What is the connection between the Taurus and the bull? Yes, if you connect all the dots, it's not the dots, all the stars. I tell constellations here. In the Taurus sign, it forms the shape of a bull with two horns. So that's why we call Vrishabha in Sanskrit, which represents a bull. So here we cover the two signs, the two zodiac signs, the first two signs, and we go to the Gemini, the house of communications. You see a man and a woman communicating, and they are bearing a trumpet. And this sign also represents sports, pleasure houses, sofa or couch, the waiting lounge. You have a comfortable waiting. It's a lounge that also is represented by Gemini. It's a Gemini, and it's ruled over Mercury. So anything related to tongue, tongue is Mercury. So singers, dancers also come under Gemini. The communication part comes under Gemini only. If you go to the stellar part of Aridra, Punarvasu, or the Mrigashira, I'll come to know more about the communications. But in the Kala Purusha, Gemini is the sign of communication. It may be the cellular communication or what communication we are having, the chat conference and all comes under Gemini. So this is this all things is important while in the predictive astrology. That's the reason I'm covering all of this. We move to the fourth sign of zodiac. The fourth zodiac sign is the Cancer. The Cancer sign is watery. I just told you it's a garden. A watery source next to a garden is the place where the Cancer denote the bedside of the river. I don't tell beaches. It's actually garden and a watery source which is next to a garden, river bed, or islands which are not occupied. For example, you find Cook Island, which is near Australia. There is an island called as Cocos Keeling Island or Cook Island, which is an inhabited island. It also represents the Cancer sign. So these are all the inhabited islands, right? Near Australia, New Zealand, or somewhere in Honolulu. Maybe some part of Papua New Guinea also is there. All the inhabited islands are represented by the sign of Cancer. Don't be the shock. Yes, a lot of books don't cover it. So that depends on what book or what author you're referring. These are all the things is a secret actually. So these are all things is very helpful in predictive astrology. So that is why I'm really going into basics. So now we learned a lesson. So islands, inhabited islands, are the one which the Cancer sign represents. So we go to the next sign, which is an interesting sign of Leo. Leo is mountains, huge mountains, forest, hunters, tribes, African tribes. A place where there is, I can say, desert as well, because desert is hot, and the sign of Leo is a very fiery sign, and it represent Ne, right? NESW from the beginning. So any eastern desert or any part on the globe is represented by Leo because it's a fiery. So here we see mountain, forest, hunters, tribes, African lands where there is a very hot, a temperature of 42 degrees Celsius, near the equator. Exactly what relevant is near the equator, the temperature, the surface temperature of Earth is very high. So that these are all the places where we can say Leo rules over those places. So this is how the Leo goes. And again, Leo, as everyone know, it is a lion, lion face. So the constellations make it. Cancer, I didn't find anything. You'll find in the book. That's also a hidden sign because we call it Kitarashi hidden. A lot of people say Scorpio sign is hidden. It's not entirely true. Even a part of Cancer sign is also Kita or hidden. We also call it Lena. Why? Yes, there is an explanation as well. Just imagine a coral reef. Coral reef is there. That's again watery. Coral reef is there. That's again Cancer sign. What can you see the fishes which are under the water? No, right? So there it comes. Can you see what is inside a coral reef? No. So this explains why Cancer sign is also because I told garden or something which is pleasant to look at, right? Even coral reefs are represented by Cancer. So again, we if we connect the dots of all the stars in the Cancer all the constellations in the sign of Cancer, you will get a diagram of a crab. So that is the reason Cancer and crab are related. It's not like all Cancerians have that attribute of a crab, so that they are a bit shy. Yes, it is there, but what is the actual background for this is the thing. If you connect all the constellations, it comes to a shape of a crab, and that's the reason we say it's really amazing. Connecting the dots. No, it's connecting the stars. The constellations make the shape of a crab. So Leo is finished. It will make the shape of a lion. So we move to the next zodiac sign, the sixth sign, which is Kanya, Virgo. Virgo, we say unmarried woman or virgin. We say actually, in actual terms, we tell not a girl. In fact, she's a woman holding something. The boat. A woman next to a boat, and she's having that. That pedal. So that's the representing the actual sign of Virgo. It means the sensitive sign. To define Virgo in one word, sensitive. And that is the reason some planets in Virgo, especially Sun, will give ill health, because Virgo is a very, very sensitive sign. Because Mercury is a sensitive planet, Mercury gets exalted in Virgo, and that is the explanation why Virgo is a sensitive sign, and it is women's pleasure room. So you know what I'm meaning to say. So an extremely sensitive sign, and it also deals over doctors like my preceptor, who used to do a lot of research in astrology, says the sign of Virgo is where we detect the diseases or a house of diagnosis. So this is a very, very important thing. The house of diagnosis and medical astrology will fall to Kanya only. Yes. and I'll come to the drug or the medicine part in the next zodiac signs. So as of Kanya or Virgo is the house of diagnosis. So if you may find any doctors who are very good in diagnosing the patients, they have some connection with this sign of Virgo. So I'll again move to the I already told the definition. If you connect all the stars in the constellations, which is in the sign of Virgo, you will get an image where a woman, she is next to a boat. You'll also see the shape of a boat. She's having that pedal. So a woman holding a pedal and with a boat is the thing which you will get, wherein you connect all the constellations which fall under the Virgo zodiac sign. So I'll move to the next sign, which is Libra. Libra is very famous. Why? It's a weight stand. So justice, everybody knows justice. Why? If you connect all the stars in Libra, it comes to a balance, right? I don't tell everyone in Libra is balanced minded because just because it represents a balance, the way in. No, it's not like that. Libra is, mainly, I can say, something related to trade. Any kind of transaction which we say, it need not be money. Okay, in general, it is business. Like any trading. In olden days, there was no money or currency. Really be sure. There was something called as the barter system. See, I grow rice in my field, and the other guy over there grows wheat. So he will give the wheat and I give the rice for rest of the town or the village or countryside. There was no currency. So from the time immemorial, the barter system was there, trading for an item. I will give golds for this much and you give me all the articles. The barter system, this all comes under the sign of Libra. Sign of Libra. So this is how it is. So Libra not only rules over business or trading and all, it represents the town, a very prominent Libra ascendant or moon or a very strong planet situated in Libra. They will move from countryside to a town or from town to a major city, because Libra rules over a major city, not something or a suburban areas, or in Australia, it's called as country. They don't call it countryside, urban. They don't call rural, suburban they call, right? So they move from suburban areas to urban areas when comes to Libra, because Libra rules over a metro city or a town or something, but not countryside, because countryside is all of vegetations. So that comes under the other zodiac sign. And also buildings, large skyscrapers, right? We see US, maybe in Europe, in India, anywhere in the world, Japan. And there's also a city which is called as the city of skyscrapers. So the buildings all comes under all the modern cities comes under Libra. So this is how we define. See, that is why the astrology is very, very, very huge. So this way we are moving to the next sign of Scorpio. Oh, Scorpio! My God, I'm really scared of Scorpio, because it means Scorpio. The name only says it. It's venom, because the scorpion, it actually attacks with the venom, and venom is extremely dangerous. So if you connect all the constellations in the sign of Scorpio, you will get this all fundamentals. This comes to a picture representation of the Vishakha, the Anuradha, and the Jeshta forming the shape of a Scorpio. It's an extremely poisonous sign, and it also has a positive side, some positive side, like it's a place where ant hill is there, poison hidden, a bit of scientific research oriented sign, underground hidden, and which is a place where sun doesn't shine. Ant hills, take example. The crazy thing about ant hills is ant will build ant hill, but who lives in ant hill? It's the snakes. So these are all the places where Scorpio and deals over it. The positive side, the medicine, of course. Whatever medicine you take, maybe English medicine or a plant, herb related, every drug or something which actually heals our health, whatever you take which makes your health better is termed as a medicine. comes under this sign of Scorpio. Yes, you heard it right. All the drugs, pharma companies, whatever, it's actually a poison which weakens the heart. What all the English or allopathy medicine, what we call the English medicine, actually weakens the heart. The thing why I'm telling is that rules over the Scorpio, because Scorpio itself is venom. So if that rules over drugs, the logic, okay, is A is equal to B and B is equal to C. Obviously, there should be a connection to A is equal to C. So this is how I say a lot of people switch to Ayurveda instead of the English medicine due to this reason, because all English medicines comes under the sign of Scorpio. Why? The relevant thing is poison here. So this is a sign which is very very poisonous, and it rules over the English medicine, which is drugs. And not all English medicines, I'm telling, they majority of them they have an ill effect. So this is nothing like an unknown fact. The Scorpio is actually very much required even for the doctors to subscribe the actual correct medicine. So this is also a sign which helps the doctors. We'll move to the next sign, which is Sagittarius. Sagittarius, whoa, with well, it represents war. So if you connect all the stars in the Mula, which is the Mula, Purvashada, and the Uttarashada, the first quarter, it forms a guy ready with a bow and arrow. In Sanskrit or in other language, we call Kodanda, which is nothing but bow, a strong bow. So a planet in Sagittarius can make you, its attributes will shift because it's a fiery sign, it's a war field, it's a chariot. Where we use chariot in olden age. You may have seen the olden civilizations where actual war was there. Mythology, chariot was there. It's a battlefield. If war happens between nations, then the Sagittarius actually comes into picture, because the Kala Purusha says whenever there is a war situation, Sagittarius has a one. There should be there, maybe by position or aspect or conjunct, whatever planetary things you deal with. Maybe notes has come to the dual sign, especially Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a war field which represents a bow and a arrow having an opposition. Yes, the Sagittarius also shows a dashing spirit. The position is like the arrow, ability to give an answer for a question. Yes, because that's like giving an answer to a question, because this reasoning, everything, because it is ruled over by Jupiter, and Jupiter rules over a lot of things, so we have to see all those things. So here we cover the 37th minute. So we'll move to the next sign, which is Capricorn. Capricorn in simple is one half of Capricorn is earth, so the other is watery. Oh, don't be surprised. Yes, it is an amphibious sign. What is an amphibious animal? An living creature which lives both on water and earth is an amphibious animal. Frog is amphibious. Crocodile, very relevant. Crocodile, if you connect all the stars in the Capricorn, you get a mage, something similar to crocodile. There is other school of thought which say it also looks like an other part, like other animal with a four leg, but in actual theory we speak crocodile is more relevant, because if you come across amphibious creatures like frog, crocodile, or anything which lives both on land and inside water, it is Capricorn only. This sign is amphibious. The first 15 degrees is something, and the other 15 degrees is watery. So don't be surprised. It is a watery forest, a place where water and forest both are there is Capricorn. So this is how we define the Capricorn. Capricorn rules over the watery forest and places where in South America there is a place called Amazon, where there is a river and also a forest. So that's an example of watery forest. And the other example I can give is a place where there is a Goa beach you can take, because if you see a place where you enjoy both the land and water, both are there, or something, we call it as Capricorn, we say. Don't confuse it with the Cancer sign, which is a coral reef, because it's good to look at. Capricorn really rules over places which is inhabited by crocodiles or amphibious creatures. So here we are covering Capricorn. We will go to the next zodiac sign, which is Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius is a very interesting sign. It actually a person holding a pitcher, we call it as a big pot, kumba, but pitcher is one and the same. But what you have to understand is it's a dark sign. Why? Because the sun only shines at 12 noon, right? See, for example, if there is a pot here or pitcher, it is not transparent. What happens in the sunrise and sunset? The sun rays will not penetrate the pot, right? Because it is opaque. Only at 12 o'clock noon, the sun comes over the, you can call mid-heaven, you can call that, some people mid-heaven, some people call the 10th house, which comes over your head, right? So that is called 10th house sun, or, we call it as the zenith MC or mid heaven, whatever, because fourth house is nadir. The fourth house is something which is below the earth, which we cannot see. So 10th house become obvious for Aquarius, where the sun comes over your head, and then only the shadow which is inside the pitcher or kumba, we say, gets light. So this is the only reason Saturn likes darkness, and the Mula Trikon, we call the Saturn, actually has significance for Aquarius. So this is a sign where Saturn is again airy planet, we call airy, and the Aquarius is again airy. So this was very important. A lot of people read something like, okay, kumbal, just a pot. So they should know the significance. This is a sign. It's a dark sign which represents gambling houses. Yeah, gambling, because gambling is ignorance, right? Going for ignorance is Kumbha. In fact, today in this Kali Yuga, we have the Kumbha Lagna. That is where some people call Rahu age. It's not actually Rahu age. This period which is running comes under the Kumbha Lagna. That is why the gambling we see, a drinking dens. You can consider liquor. I don't mean to tell something very offensive here. Liquor, it's just a choice, but the drinking dens, something which is good to health, that's okay. But liquor, we say, even doctors say it's bad. Why? So there is a reason, okay? Because Aquarius is a dark sign, and dark sign represents liquor. So drinking den is something which represents by Aquarius. So Aquarius is again a sensitive sign because it's air. So here we are covering the 11th zodiac sign, and we'll go to the 12th zodiac sign, which is Pisces. Pisces is a place where there is a church or a mosque or any religious pilgrimage, whichever God you believe. The 12th house is ultimate, because the 12th house is not only the end part of your life, it is a place of pilgrimage. It is a place where a house of guru, a guru or preceptor who actually makes you to see the future path. So Pisces is ruled over by again Jupiter, who is a Brihaspati, we call in Sanskrit. It's a house, it's a watery sign. It's a place where pilgrimage rivers are there, the Ganga, Yamuna, or the Thames, or anywhere the holy water is there. So Pisces in general is holy water, the pilgrimage, the places where God actually is. So this is the reason where devils really have not much of the strength. So this is that is the reason where Ketu means the south node actually likes the sign of Pisces. So there is not a scientific thing. There is always a significance that Pisces is always the lotus feet, of the Almighty. I'm telling not any Hindu or any religion god. The lotus feet, the feet represents the actual liberation. The concept of liberation has to be in a Kala Purusha of the Pisces. So that's how I define all the 12 zodiac belts. So we're coming to the 43rd minute. So let me actually say the houses. You'll also find it from the we call bhava, and also in English it's a translated things to bhava to English, it becomes the house. The first house, the second, until the 12th house, you already know it. So I will not go in depth because these things are really required to start a Nadi course. So here we see the first house, that represent the self, the lagna. The second one is the artha. That is the first one is the dharma. The second one is the artha. The third one is the kama. And the fourth one is the moksha, that's liberation. So 1, 5, 9 part, one triplet, 2, 6, 10 form a artha or the accumulation of wealth. I again repeat, 1, 5, 9 is the dharma of the purushartha, which are called 2, 6, 10 is called the artha trine, which is accumulating money and the materialistic thing. And I can say karma is a desire, not only related to the physical, mental. It also comes under spiritual. So, for example, seventh house is the physical karma, the third house is the mental karma, and the 11th house is the spiritual karma. We'll move to the 4, 8, 12, which is the last trine. The 4th, 8th, and 12 is the moksha trikon. So these are all the things which is required in telling what is the karakatva or causatives. The karakatva is a Sanskrit word, is the English version. I should causatives. What causes it? The first house to 12th house are there. What causes it? So here we go. This is the main part of this class, is the preliminary foundation where you create a box. First class, this is very, very important. Create a box with 2 rows and 4 columns. In Excel sheet of Microsoft Excel, we create fields, right? 2 rows and 4 columns, something like that. You create 2 rows, the first row and the second row and the 4 columns. The first column in the top, you just write it as signs, and the second column will go for the houses or the bhava. The third will be the planet, the polarity, the benevolence or the malevolence. That is the benefic or the malefic things. That is the third column. The fourth is the stellar part. So every prediction, it may not be Nadi in astrology. This is a secret from my side. You'll not find in any book. Reading book is volatile. That is why we need classes like this with real-time examples. We call RTE, that is real-time examples, where the subject should not be volatile and boring, because I give some real-life examples like coral reef. Is coral reef boring? No. So these are the things. So something like you have to make 4 columns which will make you really enjoy astrology. So the first column is very, very important, is the signs, which we discussed. The second one is the houses. The third column will be planets, and the fourth will be the stellar. So if you make this box 2 rows and 4 columns, it will be very much helpful. So I had informed before course for a few people that you need 12 sheets of blank sheets to note down the significators for the signs, 12 for the signs, 12 for the houses, and 9 for the planets, making a total of 33 sheets. So this is a very, very fundamental. See, this whole class will go only for the fundamentals, because we have to make the foundation strong. Otherwise, the building will fall. So, while constructing a building, you make a foundation. Then only we go for the ground floor and the first, right? Foundation has to be there. So that is where I'm very, very particular about this for members. Sure, even I'm a student, so I don't call students here members. Please make a foundation of 33 pages, 12 for the signs, 12 for the houses, and 9 for the planets, which will really help you in learning Nadi very quickly. So this is a long journey for 10 weeks. So 10 weeks is, in 1 week we cover 6 days. So it is a 60 hour of classes I had to deliver with respect to this. So here we see the 4 columns here. So we have to deal with it. The material will be given. So I'll come to the actual main part here, the causatives. The most important thing is the stellar, which you have to look in everything. So coming to the sun, moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu. That is the north node and the south node. Or we can tell the dragon head in the Chinese, or the dragon tail. That is, dragon head is Rahu, dragon tail is Ketu, or the north node is called Rahu and the south node is called Ketu. So here we go. The mythology says three things to study Nadi. The very, very, very core important things is the gunas. So that is sattva guna. Sattva is uh, you know yes, I am explaining what is the meaning of stellar. Stellar is nothing but nakshatra. The stellar, the constellations are there, right? We actually make it as 27 constellations. Yeah, stellar means 27. It's not 27 stars, 27 group of the nakshatras, because there are not 27 in the universe. There are about 10 to the power of 22 stars. Can you imagine it? It's like an imagination, like 10. It's not an imagination of a scientist. In one galaxy we have 10 to the power of 11 stars, and we have 10 to the power of 11 galaxies. Yes, yes, hold your breath. Then the whole universe we have a count of 10 to the power of 11 galaxies. Can you imagine? 10 to the, so we have a total of 1 followed by 22 zero stars in our universe approximately. So these all stars fall under the zodiac belt of 12. So that is the reason there are not 27 stars. The 27 are the group of constellations. So that is the meaning of actually stellar. So where was I? The sattvic attributes with the mythology. Sattvic is pure, pious. That is the Sanskrit term I am actually translating. Is sattvic is nothing but pure and pious. That is an attribute given to a stellar nakshatras and also planets in Nadi. The second one is rajasic, rajo or rajasic, which is nothing but a mixture of good and bad both. And the third one is, you see a lot of things in devils, which is tamasic or the evil nature. In simple, tamasic is evil. But tamasic planets do good occasionally when they are well placed. Yes, the three things in mythology is the sattva guna or the pure nature, the rajo guna, which is a mixture of materialistic nature with good and bad, and the third one is the tamo guna or tamasic, which is pure evil. So here first we deal with negatives, then we will deal with the positive. So the negative, tamasic, the pure evil, the Rahu, Ketu, that is the dragon head, dragon tail, Mars and Saturn. I again repeat it. The Rahu, Ketu, Mars and Saturn, the four planets. Yes, Rahu and Ketu are the dragon head and dragon tail are shadow planets. They have a huge consideration. They fall under tamasic stars. Tamasic constellations. Yeah. Stars in the sense plural, the constellations. So here Mars, Saturn, Rahu and Ketu in Meena Nadi only. Don't compare to the KP or other system of Parashari. We are dealing a bit advanced level. This is a tamasic constellations. I'll come later how it is applied. We come to the next thing called Rajasic, where the sun is Rajasic. You will be shocked. The sun, Venus and the moon, all three constellations which belongs to sun, the moon and the Venus falls under Rajasic, which means these three planets have a mixture of good and bad qualities, and you'll be very much shocked. Mercury and Jupiter are pure planets, but it should not be afflicted and fall under the category of sattvic. It's very, very easy. I will not repeat the Sanskrit things because it will be in the Hindi version. The pure, pure 100% pure comes under the category of Mercury and Jupiter. The mixed or middle, a mixture of 50% good and bad comes under the constellation of Sun, Moon and Venus. And the pure evil constellation or tamasic or tamoguna comes under the constellation of Mars, Saturn, dragon head, that is Rahu, and dragon tail, Ketu. With this, we are almost finishing the first class of Nadi, because to give an explanation of the pure, the mixed and the evil, that is Sattva, Tamo and the Rajo, the Sattva, Rajo and Tamo Guna, we need this first class, because while predicting Nadi, these constellations play a very important role. And now we are coming to the end of this first class, and I thank you for all the members for your support, and Hare Krishna.